It is a pleasure to be here, and I have spoken on a couple of occasions. I'm going to talk about elite leadership and performance. I never get embarrassed by using the word elite, ever, because for me it's about stepping to another level of performance, but it's really just about pushing the boundaries of your potential. I've been really fortunate. I did 4 years with the Parachute Regiment, 23 years in the Special Air Service, where I operated in most areas of conflict. Since I left, I studied law and psychology, and I've been working with some of the most talented people in business, sports, governments, military, and there's no doubt in my mind there's a common theme that runs through all those individuals, teams and organizations that do work at the highest levels, that elite level. You can stop me at any time during my talk. I love my subject. I do not mind digressing whatsoever. So if there's something that you particularly want to challenge or agree with or bring up, then please do so. What I'd like you to do first of all, though, is I'd just like you to look at this video. Can you just turn those lights down if possible? What I'd like you to do now in pairs is just discuss what you saw in terms of leadership and performance. What inspired you? What were the key themes? What were the characteristics that you just saw in that 3-minute video? Just discuss with the person next to you. 2 minutes. Okay, time. So, give me some words to start me off. What did you see, feel?
Unity.
Right. Unity. A team that's absolutely unified in what it wants to do. But how do you get it? How do you get this unity, this magical word of unity? Because there has to be some behaviors. So what behaviours do we see in a team that's absolutely unified? Don't mention it now, I'll come on to it later. But that unity is absolutely vital. I've never seen any individual get to the top of their profession without having support around them, without having a team absolutely united in adversity. What else did you see? Courage. Brilliant word. One of my favourite words. Courage. Courage to make challenging decisions. Courage to be a manager, top coach. Courage to challenge the status quo. It's a big word, but what does it mean? I hear it all the time. Today, when you're in different meetings, do you have the courage to challenge John? Do you have the courage to challenge the people around you? But to do it in a way that's progressive, not just courage and standing up and telling people why it's all wrong. I can do that any day of the week. But courage to stand up and say, this is why I think it should be done differently. Courage is a real special word. What else? Focus, without a doubt. How do you get focus? You get focus because you have purpose and a vision, a clear, unambiguous statement of intent. That's where we're going. Then I can stay focused because I can prioritize what I need to do. If my vision and my purpose are really clear, I'm not trying to do 1,001 different things. I can prioritize my work. Time is your most special commodity. You can't buy it, you can't give it away, and you cannot save it. 160 hours per week. So how do you maximize things? You maximize it through having focus and priorities. What else did you see? Belief. Belief in what you want to do. How do I see that? Well, I see it by just looking at the person, the body language. If I see somebody that believes, it's all over them. The thing about it from you is, in the positions you're going into, even on your worst day, you have to show it. You have to be the one that resonates that shadow. You cast a shadow as a coach, as a leader. And that shadow is all down to you. And even when we're internally, we don't always feel it, I can still put on that belief, because if I believe something, I'm authentic. What I say, feel, think, and do is the same thing. Authenticity. Again, it's a key component for me of any leader. What else? Intensity, absolutely. All the people there that you saw do it in training. That intensity of approach means that whatever they think they're going in to do battle with, they've done it in training. I cannot even begin to tell you the first failing I see in most teams is they do not train hard enough. They do not train to the level of intensity that they're going to apply on a pitch. Therefore, how on earth do you think you're going to operate at the highest levels? So training, good intensity on everything you do, good development. You saw good skill sets, people understanding their own skill, the development of that skill. How do I apply it to this particular tactical situation? Mental toughness. What goes on inside here is all yours. You control it, but how well do we train this or understand it as an individual or as a team? And that physicality, making sure that you're fit enough to do your job. Again, I cannot even begin to tell you. It's a personal responsibility for me that any person in a team understands where they are physically. I do work with football clubs. I'm surprised at how limited footballers' knowledge is in their own personal development. So it's one of those things I would be very, very keen on enhancing. Physicality, 4 key areas. Ethos and culture and communication. Good leaders communicate really well, but how do you communicate? How do you adapt your own style now? And what is your style? What's your style of communication? Would you be able to tell me what it is, how you like to communicate? More importantly, how do you adapt to all the different people that are in this room? How do you just change some of the vocabulary around different ways of putting across information just to make sure I can capture you all in here? There's a small school in Brecon called Christ College. It's holding a cross-country championship. 2 teams are running, a junior team and a senior team. Junior team are aged between 11 and 14, and the senior team between 15 and 18. All of the runners in the senior team have to run in this particular competition to get enough points to go forward for a national competition later in the year. And one of the kids is missing. Headmaster comes down and says to the junior team, look, I need somebody to step up. For about 20 seconds, a small girl steps forward. She says, I'll do it. She runs 3 times further than she's ever run before. She's sick on 3 occasions as she runs around this course, and she's sick when she finishes. She doesn't come last. She gets enough points and she goes on, she wins the national competition, or they, as a school, win the national competition later in the year. And I spoke to her directly afterwards. I said, why did you do that? What made you step up today? She said this. She said, I wanted to see how good I can be. I want to see how good I can be. Her vision. How good do you want to be as a coach? What does it look like? If you had to define it now and give me a clear, unambiguous statement of intent, could you do that? Could you tell me where you're going to be in 5 years? So there's no doubt you have that real, authentic approach. It sits above the horizon like a North Star. Because the good thing about it being up there is no matter what the adversity, no matter what comes your way, and in your profession, it's probably one of the toughest professions there is in the world, that's where I'm going. Could you describe it to me? Because if you can't describe it and it's not clear, how do we unify people behind us? How do I make sure that your support team that are going to help you get there can back you? Because as I said before, you won't get there by yourself. And then most importantly, when any adversity comes your way, I can deal with it because I'm really clear that's where we're going. Because the same thing then applies when you take over a team, doesn't it? What's the vision of this team? A clear, unambiguous statement of intent. And I honestly tell you how many groups I go to where that's not clear to me. I can see things etched in stone in businesses. I can see people tell me, oh, it's all of this. But the minute I speak to people around the different areas, it's not clear. And therefore, how do we focus and prioritize on that? How do we unify people behind it when it's tough? When all of a sudden things aren't going well? How do we make sure we maintain the correct ethos? Again, to see through adversity. Could you write that down? A 15, 20-word statement to me now, not now, but could you deliver it? Again, with passion. One of the things we saw in that film that we saw earlier was passion, real passion. Not passion that's scattergun, that yes, I want to get to the top. Intellectual passion, focused passion. I wanted to see how good I can be. This is the other thing that I think is important. If you've got a vision, make sure it's a big vision, something that's challenging. Because most of the things that you want to do and you want to achieve are difficult to get to. So make sure it is a challenging vision. Symbols. Paula Ratcliffe, people like Andy Flower. Andy Flower, who's now the current England coach. When he was a batsman in Zimbabwe, he had a little symbol, a little white piece of paper, number 10. I want to be the 10th best batsman in the world. When he became number 10, he then wrote number 1 up to become the number 1 best batsman. He had a symbol, something that he could just draw upon all the time, a picture in his mind. Same with Paula Ratcliffe. When she first started to run, she came second in a cross-country championship, came back, said, look, I came second, I didn't even try. I'm going to be a world champion. And she had a picture on a wall right the way throughout her entire career, which is about drawing towards, that's where I'm going to go. My vision is really clear. I've got a symbol, a motto, a statement, and I can draw upon that whenever I need to. Because the most important things in life for me, you're going to have to fight for. Start point. Today. I wanted to see how good I can be. Now I know how good I am. For me, this is fundamental. How good are you today? What's your start point? And I look at 4 key areas instantly. Technically, how good are you as a coach? Do you really understand the game? Do you understand all your game plans? And how are you getting better? More importantly, when you pass this particular phase with all the skills you've got before, how are you going to get better in the future? What are you doing to constantly improve your skill? Same with all of those around you. How are they getting better technically? How do you apply it to the game plans that you need to? So tactically, how do you apply all your knowledge? How do you have effect? Same with my teams. Do they understand where they need to be? How do they get ahead of time? Again, that precious commodity. Mental toughness I'll come on to in a moment. And again, physicality. Culture. What's the culture that you want to create? What ethos do you actually operate to today? So that when you say it, this is my ethos, everybody around you can look at you and go, yeah, I'll back that. You're authentic. I lived to an ethos for 23 years. The unrelenting pursuit of excellence, highest standards of discipline, classlessness and humility. And I'd like to think I can give you a reason to believe why I followed that. But what's your own culture, ethos? Have a little chat to the person next to you. What does that mean to you? If you had one word between you that you said, yeah, that's a strong, powerful word, what would it be? Just have a little chat, 30 seconds. Ethos and culture, what does it mean to you? Somebody give me a word. Excellence. Excellence, okay? So we want to deliver to an excellent standard. What does it mean? Drill down. So how am I going to prove that you've maintained excellence? What will I see?
Standards of what you...
Right, okay, so the standards are going to be what? So the reason I'm going to drill down on these words is because they're powerful words